Hello, and welcome to Life with Francy Podcast, a place where you will find all kinds of conversation like mental health, self-love, self-care, trauma, hobbies, and more. With this podcast, I want to create a community where we support one another in business and personal life. Hope you enjoy this episode. Now, let's get the show started. This conversation was thanks to Podmatch, an amazing community for podcast hosts and podcast guests to find each other and make collaborations like this one. And it just have tools and resources for anybody in the podcasting world. So on today's episode, I have the pleasure to talk to Rebecca Whitman, who helps transform women from burnout to balance, beautiful, and abundant through her 7 pillars of abundance. Mentor she helps women to leave toxic relationship and magnetize their soulmate at any stage of life. So I can't wait. I'm just gonna get to know her. So welcome, Rebecca. What is life with you?
Thank you. Wow, life is great. Life is really busy, and I'm really surprised to be doing what I'm doing, Francie, because I moved to LA 22 years ago to pursue my dream of being an actress. And I ended up having small parts on huge shows like Friends, CSI, and 24. And while I was acting, I found a great niche to support myself. It's the children's acting school business. And I had a lot of free time because the kids are available after school and on weekends. And I started studying with great spiritual teachers, people like Michael Beckwith, Abraham Hicks, Louise Hay, Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer. And I learned all about the law of attraction. And I started applying that to my finances. And I started making 6 figures working part-time. The one area that was a little more challenging, well, more like a lot more challenging, was my love life. And I ended up in many toxic relationships with emotionally unavailable men. I ended up marrying one thinking I could change him. And 3 years after that, we filed for divorce because it was just not working and it was too painful. And as my marriage was unraveling, my dad was dying. And in one of our last conversations, he asked me to write a book. And I had no idea what I was going to write. Few months later, I was sitting across the desk from my financial planner, and he said, Rebecca, I know you've lost your dad in your marriage, but you've made such a big impact financially. You've made over $1 million this year with your investments. And I think you should write a book and teach people how you did it. So I wrote a book called How to Make a 6-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And in the book, I teach that there are 7 key areas of life. I call them my 7 pillars of abundance. And when they're all in alignment, you can have anything you want. Now I'm happily married to my soulmate. I'm coaching women to go from burnout to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. And life is just so beautiful right now.
I love that. So yeah, can you tell us more a little bit of how it started and how's it going?
Yeah, so I never thought I would be voted Life Coach of the Year or Empowered Woman of the Year, anything like that. In 2020, when everything changed, I decided to take my book, which I wrote in 2018, and turn it into a coaching program. So I launched that in 2020, and I've been just loving it. I work with women one-on-one and groups. I've led an international retreat. I want to lead another international retreat helping women to magnetize their soulmate in 7 simple steps, and it's going amazing. I've since launched a health and wellness business, and I also own real estate, and I'm still working in the kids acting school business. So I have 4 income streams, actually 5, because I just signed with a new acting agent. So I have 5 income streams, and life is really busy, but it's all fun stuff. And I think of life as, remember when we were in grade school and high school, we had like a 5-ring binder with 5 different classes we were studying, and we had homework in a different section for each subject. That's how I think of my life. I think of my life as I have 4 or 5 different businesses, and they're all beautiful and they're all part of me, and I'm passionate about all of them. And the mission is all the same. It's to empower people to be their best selves.
I love that. And how do you help? Can you tell us more about the 7 pillars?
Of course, I would love to. So The 7 pillars are spirituality. I am a huge believer in having a morning ritual where you connect to the divine. And I'm so excited to offer your guests my abundance journal, which has just changed my life in so many ways, just writing down everything. And I'll tell you the story about how I found that abundance journal in
Mm-hmm.
a few minutes. But spirituality, I do that in the morning. Some people are more nighttime ritual people. If you'd rather do it at night, do it at night, but do something every day where you connect to the divine. The second thing is fitness. I believe in working out 3 to 5 times a week, moving your body. It's so important for confidence and just all the great serotonin, dopamine, endorphins you get from working out. Your health is your number one resource. When you have your health, you have everything. The next area is emotions. I believe that all emotions come from either fear or love. So that's from A Course in Miracles, all the negative emotions, resentment, bitterness, doubt, jealousy, anger, that's fear. And happiness, bliss, love, contentment, appreciation, gratitude, that's love. So how do we switch from the fear emotions to the love emotions? I believe affirmations are a huge tool to do that. The next area is romance. Having a partner that really loves you and believes in you and is cheering you on as you reach for your goals and dreams is crucial. There's no such thing as a neutral partner. They're either loving you and supporting you or they're draining your energy. So I encourage people to walk away from people that are no longer lifting you up. The next thing after romance is mental, and that is mindset work. That's people doing right now. They're mental. They're listening to Life with Francy. They are listening to podcasts like my show, the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant show. They are listening to Audibles and YouTubes and taking classes. This is really the golden age for mindset work. The next area is social. Having people in your life that lift you up, that believe in you, that have achieved the results you want, so you know they're possible. And then finally, financial. Now, Francy, everybody thinks financial is first. Everybody thinks I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm going to be a workaholic, that I'm going to invest in a personal trainer. I'm going to look really hot. Then I'm going to attract my soulmate. Then we're going to go on spiritual retreats with other couples and we'll socialize and then we'll be happy. And I'm here to tell you that finance is the last piece of the puzzle to come into place. Once you have spirituality and fitness and friends and romance and everything in your life, you're doing your mindset work, then you are going to manifest more money and it's going to be easy and it's not going to be such a drudgery. So that is what's worked for me, and that is what I love teaching people.
I absolutely love that, and I can see it, to help me out too in that matter. But you said journal, and I absolutely love journals. So yeah, tell us about that freebie that you got from my listeners.
Yeah, so when I was really young, I went to a 12-step meeting and I sat next to a woman named Janet. And she's like, Rebecca, come here. I want to show you how to write in a God journal. And she showed me these amazing journal questions. And I've been writing those for years. I've added a few more journal questions. And now I call up my abundance journal. And I do this every single morning without fail. I've been doing this for 30 years. And this journal has transformed my life from negative to positive. It has helped me reframe my life, celebrate my wins, learn from other people's wins. Of course, there's a gratitude list and even a surrender list, which nobody else teaches.
Oh,
A surrender list, because the free flowing anxiety in your head is fear, and it's good to just write all your fears down and then surrender it to God. So this is an abundance journal. I'm going to gift it to your listeners. They're going to get all the abundance journal questions sent right to their inbox. And at the end of the show or in the show notes, Francy will have my link tree where they can go ahead and snag this journal and be prepared for major manifestations, because your life will change. I know that my life is what it is today because of doing this journal every single morning for 30 years.
I love that. I am a huge part of my mental health has been, encouraging people to journal. And I love manifesting abundance, and who doesn't want that? So I love that. Thank you so much for that.
You are so welcome.
Um, Interesting question. You had, what is an elegant warrior?
Yeah, so I teach women to be elegant warriors. So what is elegance? Elegance is being in your feminine energy. When you're doing business from your feminine energy, you're magnetic. People are drawn to you, they're attracted to your energy. You don't have to push yourself on people. You don't have to chase and convince people to be your client or be your lover or be your friend. So there's an elegance, a refinement to that. And warrior is people who go out and they go after their goals and dreams. They take massive action. They're persistent. They're resilient. So the combination is my avatar, elegant warrior.
Mm.
And one of my trainings is called Elegant Warrior Training. And in Elegant Warrior Training, you get tips, tools, and strategies to get all 7 areas of life to a level 10. And that is an elegant warrior, someone who is aligned in all these areas of life.
Oh my goodness, that sounds so good. It's something that I need. It's so crazy to think about because, like, you have one thing here that is going good, and then you have another thing that is going bad. But, like, ooh, to be aligned in all of those. Yeah. Hashtag goals.
That's normal, Francy, because most people have a couple of the areas where they are just crushing. Maybe they're going to the gym every day and they're making a lot of money, but they don't have like time for friends and they don't have a good love life. Or maybe they are, have a great group of friends and they are, having a morning practice, but they don't make any money. So it's just normal to have a couple areas where you are crushing and a couple areas where you're not. And on my website, RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com, they can actually take a free quiz and see which areas of their life are in and out of alignment. And that way they know kind of what to work on.
I like that. What is your definition of a success?
My definition of success is the amount of joy you feel. And most people define success by the amount of money you make or the stuff or the bling. That to me, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're unhappy, what is it really worth? I mean, we've seen so many movie stars and rock stars OD on drugs or kill themselves. And they seem to have everything, right? They have fame and fortune and everything, but it's an inside job. It's not an outside job. So joy to me is the evidence of success. Having true joy that doesn't come from external validation, but it comes from within.
Yep. For so long, I was looking for happiness, and that one is like not limited, but it's like it can be here, but it can be gone. But once you find joy, like joy will stay through it all. And that one, it takes a little bit more work, but it's achievable. And once you do, you find peace. And then I just said on my last interview that I had a problem with peace because when it first came into my life, I was like, whoa, what is this? I don't like it. I gotta make chaos. So it's just finding peace now.
I totally agree with you, Francie. I was a drama addict. I used to think I have drama, therefore I exist. And peace was like, wow, this is so boring. Like, I need something to like get upset about. And peace is actually the goal, especially in relationships. I used to think that love was having a lot of drama and trauma and fighting and breaking up and making up. And then I realized now that I have a healthy relationship, there's a lot of peace. There is not a lot of fighting in it. And that is actually the goal is peace. We don't think that. We think the goal is passion, but you can have passion and peace at the same time. A lot of my friends are like, really? Like, you don't ever fight? And I'm like, no, it's just like, it's smooth, but we still have passion. So you can actually have passion and peace at the same time in your relationship.
I love that. I have only seen it once as a role model, and I was like, "What is this? Oh my god!" Because mine is just fight. I just know how to fight. I don't know anything else. Oh, um, as the woman that works for a corporation and has the podcast as a side hustle, you have a good question there. That why should we keep our job and find a side hustle?
Yeah, well, congratulations on having the podcast as a side hustle. That's amazing.
Thank you. It is. It's a lot of work, but you find that passion in it and it gives you the energy to keep going.
Absolutely. So the reason you should have a side hustle is because you're never going to get wealthy with a job. Job stands
Mhm.
for just over broke. They pay you just enough money where you can't afford to quit and never enough money to get wealthy and retire early. So if you have a side hustle, you have a chance of getting paid what you're worth instead of trading your time for dollars. If you just get paid for your time, there's only so many hours in a day and so many days in a week and so many weeks in a year, and your income is capped. But if you have a business where you get paid on profit, then you have unlimited earning capacity. And the goal is to take your passion to profit, to do something that doesn't feel like work, that feels like you would do it for free, like your podcast. Same with
Mhm.
my podcast. My podcast has not monetized yet, but it doesn't feel like work because I just love talking to people and I love learning from people and it's really fun. So I help women take their passion and turn it into a profit. And one of my signature coaching programs is called Create Your Six-Figure Side Hustle. So the first step is to figure out what you're passionate about. And a question to ask yourself is, what could you talk about for 30 minutes with no notes? What people come to you for advice in? What do you feel like you could just geek out on and like listen to podcasts and read about and study without ever getting bored? And that could be a clue as to what would be a good side hustle. For me, I love health and wellness. I geek out on like science and nutrition and all that stuff. So one of my side hustles is I help women look younger and leaner and have more energy with health and wellness products.
I love that, but you mentioned podcast, so we have to go back to it.
Yeah.
What is the name of your podcast?
My podcast is called The Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show.
I love that. And is this a solo show or do you bring guests in?
I bring guests on for interviews, and we won a Positive Change Award, and we were just ranked top 1.5% globally in self-help. So it is a passion project of mine, and I just love it.
I love that. And you said self help. And why is self care not selfish?
Self-care is not selfish because you have an energy body, and let's call it a cup, right? This is a cup right here, cup of water. And if you deplete this energy and there's nothing in it, yet you keep pouring into people, eventually you are going to burn out. You're going to get exhausted, depleted. Might even get a disease or something. And it's so important to prioritize your self-care so that you can keep your energy full and keep giving from the overflow. So self-care is not what women are taught. We're taught that if you put yourself first, it's selfish. We're taught put your husband and your kids and your boss and your friends and put everyone else first and sacrifice your own self for everyone. And that's what it means to be a good friend, a good wife, a good woman. I say it's the exact opposite. I tell my clients, don't do anything out of fear, obligation, or guilt. Because if you show up out of obligation, you're not even showing up in your best self anyway. And you're not going to be of service to people if you're showing up resentful or exhausted.
I absolutely love that. Is there anything else that you would like my listeners to know?
I would just like to tell them to find the joy in the little things. We think it's joy is the big thing, like a car or a house or graduating from college or getting your master's. It's the little things. find the joy in the little things, like a good night's sleep, your cozy bed, having your first cup of tea or coffee in the morning, cuddling with your partner, cuddling with your pet, walking outside and observing the beautiful colors of the leaves and the flowers and the change of the seasons, looking at the clouds. Like, it seems so woo woo, but that's where you're going to find your joy. It's in the daily details of your day that are so beautiful. So don't put your joy out off into the future and say, oh, I will be happy when I get this, because you're putting your joy into the future. Anchor your joy in today by appreciating every little thing, and you'll be amazed at how much more you'll manifest. That's why I call myself the Magnetic Abundance Mentor. So if you want to find me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Threads, Clubhouse at Rebecca E. Whitman. My website is Rebecca Elizabeth Whitman with a Z. Francy's going to give you guys my link tree, which you'll find my abundance journal. You can also do a 7-day challenge to get 7 areas of alignment. It's only $7, which is less than a smoothie in LA. And yeah, just stay in touch. I do lots of fun events. I do retreats every Tuesday at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. I host a free women's circle, and just tap into my community, because I want everybody who's listening to experience more balance, beauty, and abundance in their life.
Oh, thank you. That is so beautiful and so needed. So thank you for your mission.
You are so welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for listening to another podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. You can find my podcast in all major platforms as well as my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe or follow on your social media app. That will help me out. And then reviews that helps the listeners find the show. So hope you have a blessed day. Bye bye.